Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. My intentions have never been to harass, slander, defame, or bully any individual, but instead to spread awareness and information about multi-level marketing companies. Please do not send any hate or negativity towards any individuals mentioned in this video, as I do not condone harassment or bullying. Hi, hello friend, welcome to a channel. It's been a minute since we decided to just crack down and focus on one MLM. So I weighed a lot of my options. You guys send me suggestions a lot, like every day, like, Savannah, I want you to do this MLM, and Savannah, please cover this. And it's a lot. Based on all of the requests I've gotten, I've kind of gone through them all, and I polled you all on Instagram, and a large majority of you agreed that Color Street should be our next MLM deep dive. And well, yeah, okay, so here we are. So many of you have messaged me about it, and we're doing the damn thing. So if you didn't already know, Color Street is a multi-level marketing company. These kind of companies are also referred to as direct sales, network marketing. They come up with new stuff every day to try to confuse you, but they're becoming increasingly more well known as pyramid scheme type companies, and they will all argue that this is not a pyramid scheme and that there are differences, but I'm here to tell you that there's not that many differences between MLMs and pyramid schemes. The difference is that they haven't been caught yet and told to revamp their business structure. And I don't remember which one it was, but literally like yesterday, one of you sent me that another MLM got brought down by the FTC. And since I have my laptop here, I'm gonna Google it. Success by Health, I guess is what it's called. This was literally 2 days ago. The FTC started cracking down on Success by Health. Now, a name like that tells me, yeah, maybe stay away, but you know, I mean, all these companies, I will tell you right now, they are all very, very similar. The FTC is just picking them off one by one right now. Color Street is one of these companies, no matter what anyone says. Basically, though, what all of this means is that Color Street, along with every other MLM, relies heavily on recruitment of new people into the company in order to make a living, or a decent amount of money at least. And yeah, they have a product, and we'll get into like the compensation and stuff later, but just because an MLM has a product does not automatically make it not a pyramid scheme. When it comes down to people making more money off of recruiting than it does from just selling the product, that's when you have a problem, and we'll get into that is exactly what we will see here. You technically can make a profit off of just selling Color Street products, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not much. If you want to hit the big bucks, you got to start recruiting and building a team, like point blank. If you're not recruiting, you're not making actual money. Now, I've made a video on paparazzi that is very similar to this. And what I've learned from that video is that the Huns, and they'll probably do the same thing to this video, they like to go into my comment section and then throw out a bunch of misleading facts, statistics, numbers, what have you. They'll throw it all out there to discredit anything that I say, but just so you know, all my links are down in the description below. The reason that I make videos like this is that people who are actually doing their due diligence when being recruited for companies like this and like researching, I want it to be very important that this information reaches them so that they know exactly what they're going to get into and hopefully make the decision not to join. I want you to see the predatory nature of these companies, and that the illusions of grandeur that the people within them will present to you to try to get you to join are not likely to be your reality. So I basically went into this investigation, if you'll call it that, pretty blind. I mean, I knew Color Street did stuff for nails, but what I didn't know, Color Street's nail wraps aren't exactly exclusive to Color Street. I'll explain. The founder and CEO of Color Street is a man named Fa Park. He came to the United States in 1980 and came up with the idea for nail wraps and engineered his production machines and facilities on his own. He's essentially the poster child of the American dream.
I love you.
He patented the idea, sold it to a bunch of companies. His company was named Incoco, which stands for Innovative Cosmetic Concepts. If you look up the trademarks for that name, you'll see a plethora of different trademarks that Incoco owns. The reason Incoco is so important is because it is the parent company of Color Street. Or put more simply, Color Street is like a branch off of Incoco. And there's another company called Coconut Nail Art, which is like another branch. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I used to be with Limelight by Alcone, now known as Lime Life. So it's kind of the same, like Lime Life by Alcone is just a branch off of Alcone. They made Lime Life by Alcone into a multi-level marketing company so that you can get the same products through them. It's pretty much the same thing. When we're talking about Color Street here, what's really important to understand is that Incoco, Color Street, and Coconut Nail Art all sell the exact same products. They're all produced in Incoco's headquarters in New Jersey, and they are exactly the same. So I figure all this out, right? And the first question I have is, what is the difference between the three of them? They're all sold at different price points in different markets. Why is there a premium cost on Color Street's products over Incoco and Coconut Nail Art? You can literally buy a set of Coconut Nail Art for less than $5 at Walmart. Incoco sold at Ulta for around $7.99, $8, whatever. So why would you pay between $11 and $14 for Color Street if they're exactly the same? The answer is basically that Color Street just has more design selections. When I looked at Coconut Nail Art's collections, it was underwhelming, I will say. Most of the designs are kind of gaudy and unattractive in my opinion. It's like LuLaRoe for your nails. I found myself significantly more attracted to Incoco's designs, and then Color Street, of course, had the largest selection. So it's like a supply and demand thing. This is how I see it. So the more attractive ones are being sold at a higher premium. No difference in quality between these though. Yeah, attractiveness quality maybe, but they're the same. They're the same. The nail art is different. Ow. Ow. You are literally just paying more for the ones that look nicer. Even though I highly doubt it cost them any more to make Color Street than it did Coconut Nail Art. I wasn't completely convinced of this though. There has to be a difference for the cost to vary so greatly, right? Well, I found an article from a Color Street consultant, someone within the company, and they pretty much confirmed that, yeah, they're the same product. There is no other difference besides design. They try to say that you're paying more for Color Street because when you buy Color Street, you have a personal nail stylist to help you. And it's like, I don't think that that's necessarily worth it at all. It says they can like answer your questions and stuff, but it's like, what questions would you have besides how to apply it? And then in that case, go on YouTube. There's a bazillion videos on YouTube how to apply Color Street in particular, but also just like nail stickers, like I don't have to explain this to you. YouTube has a tutorial for fucking everything. You don't need a personal stylist to show you how to put them on. Plus, I'm sure the instructions come in the box too, wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? They also boast about Color Street having a buy 3 get 1 free promotion, so let's do the math here. The cheapest design on Color Street's website is $11. So you pay $33 for 4 designs plus shipping, which from what I understand is usually around $3 per package. So $36 altogether for 4. But if you were to just straight up go to Ulta and buy 4 Incocos for $7.99 each, that's $31.96. It's still cheaper without the buy 3 get 1 free. Let alone go to Walmart and buy some Coconut Nail Art for less than $5 each. It'll run you $19.88. You're not paying shipping. So Color Street also says that they have a buy 1 get 1 free on their French manicures, which by the way are out of stock. I'll get into that in a second. This out of stock problem is something we see a lot in MLMs too. But so assuming they're even in stock, you can get 2 French manicure sets for $17 including shipping from Color Street. Or you can go to Ulta and buy pretty much the exact same thing for $7.99 each or $15.98. That's still cheaper. Trying to say you're getting a better value by buying from Color Street in bulk, I guess that wouldn't be bulk, but in higher quantities, it's a load of crap, especially knowing that they're all the exact same product. So here's my out of stock side note. When I was with Lime Life, or Limelight. You might hear me call it both things because I just interchanged the two because it's confusing. But anyway, when I was with Limelight, we had the exact same thing going on. It took me months to be able to get my foundation shade because it took them months to restock it. And it was also one of those things where they're like, it's coming back this day. And then that day would approach and they'd be like, never mind, it's coming back in this day. And they would keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. We just were all sitting there waiting, you know? Customers were sitting there waiting. Customers, I had like 2. But the line that we were fed over and over and over again is, oh my God, it's just growing pains. People want our product so much that we can't keep up with the demand. And this is a great problem to have because that means that our current facilities just can't handle it and we're gonna grow and get more. The idea was like, hey girl, you got in at a really great time because the company is booming and growing. When in reality, every time that something actually came back in stock, our uplines were like, go buy it, hurry, it's gonna sell out again. All of the beauty guides in Limelight would rush to the website, buy at least 2. They'd buy like 1 for their kit, which was a whole nother thing. We're not talking about Limelight, but yeah, a kit and like 1 for themselves, you know? So it was the downlines that were buying everything and making things go out of stock. It wasn't actual customers. And this happens in every MLM that has a physical product to sell. The article that I read also boasts about the business opportunity as a reason to pay more for Color Street. So, okay, you pay more for the MLM business structure because it needs more money to disperse to its stylists in order to make their commission worth it. This is the same with every MLM. It's so dumb. But while we're on the topic of the business opportunity, let's just dive into it. The first section on their website after you click join features this totally unscripted and not cringy at all video.
Check this out. Looks great, huh? What if I told you these nails took 10 minutes, were 100% real nail polish, cost about $12, and paid for my daughter's tuition this semester? Knowing that, now how good do they look?
First of all, this quote is on this webpage twice and spoken almost word for word in this video.
Anyone can become a Color Street independent stylist. It doesn't require special skills, prior experience, or extensive training. Our nail fashion is easy to show off to your friends and fun to sell. If you have a passion for fashion, want to be your own boss, or just want to have fun, you should be rocking Color Street.
An MLM that doesn't require special skills to join. Yeah, that sounds about right. A Color Street nail stylist is to a licensed nail artist as a Beachbody coach is to an actual like accredited fitness coach. They don't know anything. They have no experience. Then in the video, it just seems like they took the top ranking members of the company and spliced in parts of their interviews to really sell the opportunity. Like, oh my God, you can help women achieve their wildest dreams side by side. By now, most of us know that that's just not the case. This part made me laugh. It ends with,
I know, it sounds too good to be true, but it's not.
Yeah, actually it is too good to be true, unless you're lucky enough to get to the top of the pyramid. We'll go over those statistics in a minute. So all right, you've been approached by someone in Color Street trying to sell the opportunity of a lifetime to you. And after weeks of incessant Facebook messages and drowning you in the Kool-Aid, you decide to give it a shot. So it's time to fork over $129. If you're new to the idea of MLMs, this is usually how it goes. However, I was surprised that Color Street only had 1 starter kit. A lot of them will have like premium starter kits that cost more but just come with more business stuff. I don't know. Color Street just has 1. So for $129, you get a kit full of stuff that you need to work your business. Now what? Well, let's look at all the ways that you can get paid with Color Street. Thankfully, and I say thankfully because when I did HempWorks, their compensation plan was like 17 pages long. Color Street has 2 pages. So that was nice. But there's also a 24-page long document that explains the compensation plan. So that doesn't make it much better in my opinion, but whatever. I've linked that down below if you want to check it out. But I'm just gonna hit on the most important points of it. But if you want something elaborated on, you can read the document down below. There's a lot in it. Color Street has 3 phases. You begin in the marketing phase, followed by the leadership phase, and then the executive phase. But don't worry, you probably won't make it to those top 2 phases. You're likely to just sit there in the marketing phase. This is basically where you just get paid to make sales. Now this phase is made up of the first 3 ranks, being stylist, BQ or bonus qualified stylist, and senior stylist, These first 3 ranks make up 94.5% of every single stylist within Color Street. This income disclosure statement is a little unusual because the first 2 ranks are actually the first rank. BQ just stands for bonus qualified, so in order to meet this rank, you have to have 300 PV every month. PV stands for personal volume, by the way. This means that you personally need to generate $300 in sales over the course of a month. The expectation is that, oh, you'll easily sell $300 worth of products in a month. But in reality, what really happens a lot of the times, and we see this in every single MLM, they set this kind of standard here, and in order to reach it, people will do what's called bonus buying, and they'll just buy products for themselves that also qualify for PV and then make that $300 mark themselves. This is where people start really getting in trouble. This is where they kind of start digging their own financial graves. According to this income disclosure statement, over 50% of Color Street stylists do not even meet this requirement. Another argument that the Huns like to make with statistics like this is like, oh my god, you cannot even make this kind of comparison. You can't judge that number because there are so many people who just join Color Street for the discount. I always doubt that this is the case. I would guarantee that most people who fall into this first rank were probably sold the dream, the opportunity, the financial freedom. They were probably all sold it and believed that they had a chance in it, and then they find out it's actually not as easy as their upline made it sound. And they just kind of sit there and make the excuse and go, oh, I just joined for the discount. When in the back of their mind, why wouldn't they want to be making more money sitting on their phone and selling nail polish, you know? I feel like it's kind of just a front. Like they really thought they had a chance at working the business and it turned out not to be the case. So technically this first actual rank, whether they're bonus qualified or not, makes up for 87.76% of all Color Street stylists. Now that is a statistic that sounds a little more correct. And at first glance, this income disclosure statement is misleading because it looks like almost 50% of people will advance to at least the second rank, which are better odds than most MLMs can boast, like from what I've seen anyway, because most of the time it's like 70-80% of people are stuck in the first rank and never rank up. However, we know that nearly 88% of people within Color Street are technically still in the first rank. It just, the difference is, are they making $300 in sales a month or not? I definitely think that this choice was a recruitment strategy on Color Street's part. So what do the bonuses look like? Well, first of all, you'll hear a lot about the Jumpstart bonus when you finally get swindled into joining. Now, I have never been involved with Color Street, but back to my Lime Life days, it was very similar. They also offered a Jumpstart bonus program. So speaking from personal experience, I can guarantee it's almost exactly the same experience with Color Street. You will be pressured immediately, right off the bat, to hit that Jumpstart bonus. Your upline will be breathing down your neck about it until your 90 days are up. I remember feeling so pressured to buy enough Lime Life product to meet the Jumpstart bonus requirements just to make my upline happy. The excuse in Lime Life was, hey, you gotta build a kit, so, you know, if you just buy however much the requirement was and start building your kit, you'll hit the Jumpstart bonus and then blah, 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 blah. Like, so that was the excuse, but really, in all reality, me spending money in those first 90 days, no matter what I ended up buying, whether it was enough to meet the Jumpstart bonus or not, it was still lining my upline's pockets. I didn't end up doing this because, newsflash, it was super expensive. I think Lime Life's Jumpstart was like $1,000 in sales or something like that in the first 30 days, maybe. I don't know. And then they had to do with like recruiting people. So if you recruit someone within your first however many days, like you get a Jumpstart bonus for that, and Color Street has the same thing. But yeah, so there's like thresholds. So there's the first 35, 65, and 95 days. So if you get a certain PV, a certain level of PV on each of these days, then you qualify for a Jumpstart bonus. Again, the expectation is that you will meet these numbers in sales, but many just end up buying it themselves, just like I was pressured to do with Lime Life. They give you free credit to redeem for Color Street products when you meet these goals. Oh, and also, every time you meet one of these goals, your upline receives the same reward that you do. So this goes back to, why are Color Street's products so much more expensive than Incoco and Coconut Nail Art? Well, it's because they gotta pay these bonuses somehow. They have to compensate their uplines for all this shit. It probably costs these people like maybe less than $1 to make a set of these nails, but they're selling them for up to $14. So it's like, yeah, somehow, somewhere along the way, someone has to be paying for all these bonuses. And that's pretty much how it is with every MLM. And most of the time, in most MLMs, they would say, oh, you're just paying for the quality of the product. It's much better than this or that. But we know that with Color Street, you cannot say that because it's the same exact product as other nail wraps. Like, the guy who makes these has the patent for these, you know? Like, they're the same thing. So we can't say, hey, the quality on Color Street is better. Literally all you can say is the designs in Color Street are different and you probably will like them more. And can we talk about this median income here? So the median income, if you're not a bonus qualified stylist, is 0. This means that at least half of the stylists who are in this rank made $0. But they're just in it for the discount. No, Karen, shut up. But I'm also confused about the categories in this chart too. So there's a bottom 25%, median, and top 25%. So did they just take an average of the top performing people and the bottom performing people? So this isn't even like the highest amount someone made in these ranks throughout this time frame? I just have to wonder why they decided to do it this way. It's definitely deceptive when you look at the bottom 25%. For all we know, there are people in the top few ranks that have made nothing. But it's just an average, so you can never really know for sure based on these numbers. But to be in any rank besides the first, you have to be bonus qualified, which means you have to have $300 in PV per month, even though there's no way of knowing if they bought that product themselves or if they actually made sales to customers. There is no information on that at all. And here's an even bigger problem on the income disclosure statement. It says this right at the very bottom in fine print. Commission and rebates distributed to Color Street stylists in 2018 is exclusive of expenses incurred by Color Street stylists in the operation or promotion of their business, including but not limited to advertising or promotional expenses, product samples, training, rent, travel, telecommunication, and internet access fees. So yeah, it may say here that, for example, a senior stylist averages about $315.18 per month, but this does not reflect the expenses they spent to get there, especially if they're making some of that PV themselves. That would be money that came out of their own pocket. And Color Street is big on throwing parties. That's how a lot of people make their money and meet those product sale quotas. So if you want to make some money at that party, you have to have some inventory on hand, whether it's just like as samples or display. You gotta have something to like demonstrate how to do it, you know? Color Street does not reimburse you for traveling, gas, business cards, whatever inventory you have on hand, promotional materials, party supplies, like whatever. All that money that a Color Street stylist would spend on throwing a party is not reimbursed by Color Street. As it clearly says in this income disclosure statement, it's not reflected in any of these numbers either. You know, this senior stylist maybe made $315.18 that month. They probably spent $500 on the parties they were throwing. So they're not even breaking even. This is not an actual statistic that I have. This is just based on personal experience and what I have seen within the industry. This is usually just how it goes. There's no breaking even in this. As a Color Street stylist, you make 25% commission on the products you sell. Now, if you sell a certain amount in PV every month, they'll tack on like an additional like 3%, 5%, or 10% bonus or something like that. I think it's like, I didn't write this down, but the link is in the description if you want to know for sure. But I think it's if you make 600 PV in a month, then they tack on an extra 3%. So you're not getting 25% commission, you're getting 28%. But so they have a few levels like that. But for simplicity and what we're talking about right now, let's just say you make 25% commission. So their most expensive set is $14. If you sell one at 25% commission, you make $3.50. But many other designs are less than this. Like I said, their prices range between $11 and $14. So we are almost in paparazzi territory here. You would have to sell 29 sets of $14 nail wraps just to make $100. $29 sounds like a small number, but it's really not, especially when you're really trying to be pushy and just make your sales quotas. At that point, you'll probably just break even for everything that you spent throwing that party, you know? So can you make a good living selling Color Street without recruiting? No. Oh my God, no. They'll tell you that you can, but you can't. You literally have to sell hundreds, if not thousands of nail wraps every single month to make a living wage without recruiting. Anyway, recruiting. Let's talk about that. That's where the real money is in every single MLM. They try to say you don't have to recruit if you don't want to, but sorry, you can't make money otherwise. Looking at this chart, the first rank that makes a livable annual income is a senior director, which makes up less than half of 1% of Color Street stylists. And when I say livable wage, you'd be averaging around or less than $30,000 a year doing that, which is less than what a teacher makes, first of all. And we already know that teachers in this country are paid like shit. They are some of the more lower earners in the country, educated ones anyway. But yeah, $30,000 for a full-time position is like minimum wage, and only half of 1% of people who join Color Street will make it to this. And when you look at the requirement that you have to even get to that rank, you need to have personally recruited at least 5 other stylists who are all bonus qualified, and 2 of them have to have made it to the team leader rank, which makes up only 3.5% of all stylists in the company. Your chances of doing this are so slim. They also have ranks within the highest rank, which is National Executive Director. This rank makes up 0.03% of all stylists. So when you're in this rank, they put 1% of the sales for that month for the whole company into a pot, distributes it all to qualified people in that rank. You can be either Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, or Diamond. Each of those ranks has a certain percentage payout. However, the bottom of the income disclosure statement literally says, there was no Diamond National Executive Director in 2018. No one even made it to the top of the top rank in the company. How absolutely impossible have they made it that no one can actually achieve this? Regardless, anyone in this category is making a buttload of money, so it hardly matters anyway. I just thought it was funny. But here's the other thing too with stuff like this. And we're hearing a lot about this right now with, is it Monet who's doing the founder shares or whatever? Where they're trying to say, oh my gosh, if you make it to this rank by this certain date, then you get a whatever percent share for life or whatever, which we already disproved that it is not for life. You still have to qualify for it in order to get it. But when you really think about it, why would you want to convince more people to join to get to that top rank? Because the more people who are in that rank, the less money each share is worth every month. You see, you know what I mean? So I feel like the people who are pushing this know that if, their chances of going up to the top ranks are slim, but the more people who are entering, the more people who are buying more product, because we all know that the only people who buy product within MLMs are the people who are signed up with them. There's more people buying, getting starter kits, trying to build kits depending on which company it is, so these people at the top know that their share is going to be larger. So they don't actually want you to make it to these top ranks because they'll get less money. Does that make sense? I don't know. That whole thing is just very strange to me. And of course, as every income disclosure statement says at the bottom in fine print, we get this lovely message. Your earning capacity depends on your commitment, hard work, sacrifice, and business skills. A few things. First of all, we know that this is not true. There are people who throw all of their blood, sweat, tears, and money into MLMs and still make nothing. They will always try to pin it on you and say, you're just not working hard enough. We know that is not true. That is not the case. And most of the time, the people who made it to the top of the company just got in at the right time. 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what happens. And then they just sit there at the top and make money while everyone underneath them loses money. So there's that. But anyway, secondly, sacrifice? That is some cult ass shit right there. But these companies are so well known for encouraging people to sacrifice their financial security, their friendships, their relationships, their lifestyles, their firstborn children to make the business work. Just read about LuLaRoe for 30 seconds and you'll see how many people lost their homes, went bankrupt, etc. Lost everything, maxed out credit cards, by giving up these sacrifices that the uplines encouraged. I mean, oh my God, can you get any more sketchy? If all of this information is not enough for you, take advice from someone who literally succeeded in Color Street and still quit. When you search Color Street on YouTube, one of the top videos came from this lady named Kristen Jones. It's about why she left Color Street. I know she was very successful because her Jonesin' for Polish Facebook page is still up and over 6,000 people like it. That just goes to show that she really had a big team underneath her. Not only that, but there's a VIP group that she runs or ran that still exists, and that has 2,000 people in it. She probably was the upline of many, and she quit. Now, this video is super annoying because at the end she says she joined another MLM company. Of course she did. That's what so many of these people do. She says it's a health and wellness one, but I don't know for sure which one it was. I didn't look too far into it, but as always, you know, they never like to actually say the name of the company they're working for because that would ruin the mystery. But she has another video before she quit Color Street where she, a person who worked the business probably to about its fullest extent, tells you the pros and cons of the company. So let's go through some key points.
I just want to chat today about the pros and cons of Color Street because let's face it, they're not perfect. As much as I love their product and I love their company, they have problems and we all, we have to accept that. They're a new company.
For once, a hun who has a dash of awareness. It's almost refreshing. Almost anyone who makes pro MLM content will usually tell you that their company is the best and the only one that you should ever be with because this and that and this and that and that.
Hello, out of stock problems. Hello, they can't keep up. Is that a problem? No, that's amazing. Out of stock, you can complain about it, you can whine about it. I'm just being real, and if I'm hurting your feelings, I'm sorry. But to be honest with you, out of stock is not a problem, ladies. You want to be with a company that has out of stock issues. Why? Because they're growing.
Here's the growing pain quote. I told you, this exists. This is a thing. Now, mind you, this video is almost 2 years old, and Color Street was less than a year old when she made this video. So while there are probably going to be huns in the comments going, oh my God, this video is 2 years old, it's outdated, it's irrelevant. Okay, so how do you explain how everything is still out of stock, Karen? Nearly 2 years later, and Color Street still can't figure their shit out. Why are they able to constantly keep their Incoco and coconut nail art in stock at huge retailers all around the country, but Color Street is always going through growing pains? They are all made in the same facility. It's been 2 years and they still couldn't figure out how to meet the demand for their products.
Who wants to be with a company that has full stock all the time? Not me. Not me, because I've been there. I've been with those companies that, damn, I can't even sell my product because everybody has it. But guess what? Not Color Street.
Who wants to be with a company that's in stock all the time? What kind of fucking bullshit question is that? We live in a world right now that is based on the I want it now thing and the convenience of being able to get what you want when you want it. You can't blame growing pains when it's taking you 2 years to figure this out. And let me just say, when I was getting this excuse beat into my head every single day with Lime Life, I believed it. There were people who would say that they would make a purchase and, oh, just let me know when it's back in stock. But then months would go by, and I'm not even over exaggerating this, literally months. And they would, they'd hit me up and be like, hey, is that still in stock yet? And I'd be like, no, not yet. And then by the time it actually did come in stock, they weren't interested anymore, and I lost that sale. This happened to me more than once with Lime Life. This kind of behavior within MLMs is not a good thing. As a matter of fact, it's unprofessional, and I believe they're doing it on purpose. I guarantee it. There is literally no reason why, especially a company like Color Street, Or fuck, you know what? Even Lime Life, because their parent company is Alcone. There's no reason why, after being in these businesses for years, they can't figure out how to meet the demand of their products. In my opinion, I think they do this on purpose just to build excitement for the people who are in these companies. Because as soon as it's in stock, they'll rush to buy it and probably buy large quantities of it, especially when they have the buy 3 get 1 free bullshit. So they'll buy at least 4 of them. And who wins when that happens? The top 1%, aka the executive level uplines. While everyone else at the bottom just spent thousands of dollars so that they could have their favorite fucking nail design before it sells out again, and they line their uplines pockets in the meantime. It's an absolute scam, or as Kristen puts it in this video, a con.
Is it a con? Yeah, it is. Well, when your customer wants to order something that's out of stock, you can simply let them know. Be honest with them. Let them know, look, girl, this is out of stock. But you know what? We have this. We have this shade of red. You might like that. Or we have this pink glitter. You might like that better than the other one that you wanted to order. No, that's not going to work. That's all right. Look, give me your order and I'll place it for you as soon as it comes in stock.
Hey girl, give me that money right now and you'll forget all about it, but you can trust me to place that order when it comes back in stock 6 months from now.
Getting more people and they're getting more equipment so that they can handle the out of stock issues. So pretty soon it's not going to be an issue.
How long is pretty soon? Because it's been 2 years and nothing has changed. She mentions that at the time that she was making this video, their website was a little bit outdated and their back office was hard to use. I have no way of verifying this. When I go onto Color Street's website, it all looks pretty modern and working to me, but I don't know if their back office has been updated since she made this video. So when this chick gets into the pros of Color Street, she sits there and says, oh my god, Color Street is so amazing. But then what we all know is that like 2 or 3 months later, she quits. But oh no, the compensation plan is so amazing, and in her 18 years of being in MLM, she's never seen a better compensation plan and she's never been happier. But oh, she quits 3 months later. Okay. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say on Color Street. If you made it this far, take it from me, please do not join an MLM if that is the reason why you were watching this video. If you're here just because you like anti-MLM content, give me a sub, yo. So stupid. I'm almost 30. But no, for real, I put out anti-MLM content every single week, and I would love to have you join this family. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, so I would love to celebrate that with you. I also just want to, as always, say thank you to the people who always send me stuff throughout the month of all the new things happening in MLMs, who tag me and stuff, and you know, thank you to all of you who bring certain important issues to my attention. Those of you who are always in my DMs. Sorry, my dogs are barking. But I do so very much appreciate it. I've gotten to the point where I cannot respond to every single one of them anymore because there's so many, but I do read them all and I appreciate it all so much. If you're in the anti-MLM community, thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making waves, babes. And that's all I have to say. Just stay sexy, don't join an MLM. I listen to too much My Favorite Murder. Okay, bye.